The hum of the control room was a constant backdrop to the flashing screens and hurried whispers of the analysts. Deep within the heart of Earth's defense headquarters, a message had been intercepted. It was not the first time such a signal had been picked up, but this one was different. It carried a sense of urgency, a cryptic symbol that no one could decipher, and a language that seemed eerily familiar yet alien. "Commander, you need to see this," one of the analysts called out, waving a data pad at the stern figure standing near the central holomap. Commander Elias Graff, a veteran of countless skirmishes and known for his unwavering resolve, took the pad and scanned the contents. His brow furrowed as he read the translation attempts and studied the strange symbol. It was a circle, bisected by a line with intricate patterns within. Something about it tugged at the edges of his memory. "It's just another prank or a misinterpreted signal," scoffed a junior officer nearby. "We've had hundreds of these." Elias shook his head. "No, this is different. This symbol. I've seen it before, in ancient texts, in the archives." He turned to his aide. "Get me Captain Aria Reynolds. Now." Captain Aria Reynolds stood at attention, her eyes fixed forward, waiting for the commander to speak. Her unit, the 12th Recon, was a small but highly elite force, renowned for their unconventional tactics and success in missions deemed impossible by larger forces. "Captain Reynolds, I have a mission for you and your team," Elias began, showing her the datapad. "We intercepted this message. It's a warning of an impending alien invasion. I need you to investigate and confirm its authenticity." Arya glanced at the pad, her eyes narrowing at the symbol. "Sir, with all due respect, why us? We're not exactly the first choice for something like this." "Because," Elias replied, his voice low and serious, "I trust your instincts and your skills. If anyone can get to the bottom of this, it's you." Arya nodded, accepting the challenge. "Understood, sir. We'll get on it right away." The 12th Recon prepared swiftly. Each member of the unit was a specialist in their field: Lieutenant Marcus, the tech genius; Sergeant Jax, the weapons expert; Corporal Lena, the stealth operative; and Private Kieran, the sharp-eyed scout. Together, they formed a team that was greater than the sum of its parts. As they boarded their transport, Marcus voiced the skepticism that everyone felt. "You think this is for real? An alien invasion? Seems like the brass is jumping at shadows." Arya shook her head, her expression determined. "It doesn't matter what I think. We have a mission, and we're going to see it through. Stay sharp, and keep your eyes open." The transport lifted off, leaving the sprawling cityscape behind as it headed toward the remote coordinates where the signal had originated. The curiosity loop had been set, a strange symbol, an alien language, and a dire warning that few believed. But for Captain Reynolds and her small army, it was the beginning of a journey that would change everything. As the transport pierced the cloud cover, the team prepared for whatever lay ahead, unaware that their actions would soon decide the fate of humanity. The curiosity and doubt of the beginning would soon be replaced by the harsh reality of the battle to come. The landscape below was a stark contrast to the urban sprawl of the city they had left behind. Dense forests stretched out in all directions, broken only by the occasional mountain peak piercing through the greenery. The coordinates had led them to a remote area, far from any known settlements. The transport descended into a small clearing, the downdraft from its engines whipping the trees into a frenzy. As soon as the ramp lowered, Captain Arya Reynolds led her team out, each member moving with practiced precision. They set up a perimeter and scanned the area for any signs of activity. "All right, team," Arya called out, her voice steady and calm. "We're looking for any signs of alien presence or technology. Marcus, get that scanner going. Jax, Lena, Kieran, fan out and keep your eyes peeled." Marcus pulled out a handheld scanner, its screen lighting up with data as he swept it over the ground. "Nothing unusual so far," he muttered, his fingers dancing over the controls. "Wait. I'm picking up something." Energy signatures, faint but definitely not natural. Arya moved to his side, looking at the scanner. Can you pinpoint it? Marcus nodded, adjusting the device. This way, he said, leading the team deeper into the forest. As they moved, Arya couldn't help but reflect on her team. Each one of them had been handpicked for their unique skills and unyielding loyalty. They were small in number, but they had proven time and again that they could handle missions that larger forces couldn't. Lieutenant Marcus had a mind like a computer, able to hack into any system and decode even the most complex signals. Sergeant Jax was a walking arsenal, able to use any weapon with deadly accuracy. Corporal Lena was a ghost, her stealth skills making her nearly invisible to enemies. And Private Kieran had eyes like a hawk, able to spot danger long before it became a threat. Their bond was more than professional, they were a family. And despite the skepticism from others about their ability to handle this mission, Arya had complete faith in them. They reached a small clearing, and Marcus pointed to the ground. Here. The energy readings are strongest here. Jax moved forward, his eyes scanning the area. Looks like there's something buried, he said, kneeling and brushing away the dirt to reveal a metallic surface. Help me get this open. Together, they cleared away the debris to uncover a hatch. It was old, covered in strange symbols that matched the one on the intercepted message. Arya's heart quickened. This was it, the first real proof that the warning was genuine. Ready to go in? Lena asked, her voice steady but with an edge of excitement. Arya nodded. Marcus, see if you can get this open. Jax, Kieran, cover our 6. Lena, you're with me. Marcus worked his magic, and with a hiss, the hatch opened, revealing a dark tunnel leading down into the earth. The air was stale, and a faint hum of machinery echoed up from below. Let's move, Arya ordered, leading the way down the ladder. The tunnel was narrow, forcing them to move single file. It opened up into a larger chamber, dimly lit by flickering lights. The walls were covered in alien technology, unlike anything they had seen before. We're definitely not alone, Marcus whispered, his eyes wide with awe. Suddenly, a noise echoed from deeper within the chamber, a scraping sound, like metal on metal. The team froze, weapons at the ready. From the shadows, a figure emerged. It was tall, humanoid but clearly alien, with glowing eyes and a sleek, metallic body. Hold your fire, Arya commanded, holding up her hand. Let's see what it does. The alien paused, regarding them with an expression that was impossible to read. Then, it spoke, not in words, but in a series of clicks and hums. Marcus' scanner translated the sounds into text on his screen. We come in peace. Do not fear. Arya lowered her weapon slightly. We're not here to fight, she said, hoping the alien could understand her tone if not her words. We're here to learn. The alien tilted its head, as if considering her words. Then, it stepped aside, revealing a large console with the same strange symbol as the intercepted message. This was it, the source of the warning. As the team moved forward, the alien watched them closely, its glowing eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and caution. Arya knew they were on the brink of something huge, something that could change everything they knew about the universe and their place in it. The curiosity loop tightened, pulling them deeper into the mystery. What was this place? Who were these aliens? And what did the warning truly mean for humanity? As they began to decipher the alien technology, they realized that their small, elite unit might be all that stood between Earth and total annihilation. The dim light from the console illuminated the chamber as Marcus worked on deciphering the alien technology. The strange symbols and glyphs slowly began to make sense, revealing bits of information that only deepened the mystery. This is a map, Marcus said, his eyes wide with excitement and disbelief. It shows the locations of their scouting parties. They're already here, and they're planning something big. Arya felt a chill run down her spine. We need to warn Command. But first, we have to understand what we're dealing with. A sudden, high-pitched whine filled the air, followed by the unmistakable sound of heavy footsteps. The team immediately took defensive positions, weapons at the ready. From the shadows emerged several alien soldiers, each armed with advanced weaponry that glowed ominously in the dim light. "Engage," Arya ordered, her voice calm and commanding. The chamber erupted in a chaotic firefight. The alien soldiers moved with a fluid grace, their movements almost too fast to track. But the 12th Recon was no ordinary unit. Jax's precision shots took down 2 aliens before they could react, while Lena's stealth allowed her to flank and neutralize another. Kieran's sharp eyes picked out targets in the darkness, providing crucial cover for Marcus, who continued working on the console. Arya's focus was absolute. She moved with lethal efficiency, her every action calculated to maximize damage and minimize exposure. Despite their superior numbers and technology, the alien soldiers struggled against the humans' ferocity and coordination. "They're retreating," Kieran called out, watching as the surviving aliens began to fall back toward the tunnel. "Don't let them get away," Arya commanded. "We need to know where they're going." The team pressed the attack, forcing the aliens to flee deeper into the tunnel. As they pursued, Arya noticed a pattern in the aliens' movements. They were leading them somewhere. She signaled for the team to slow down, her instincts warning her of a trap. "We need to be careful," she said quietly. "They might be trying to lure us into an ambush." Just then, the tunnel opened up into a vast underground cavern, filled with alien machinery and more of the strange symbols. In the center of the cavern was a massive structure, pulsating with energy. Arya's heart sank as she realized what it was, a communication hub, likely the source of the intercepted message. "This is it," Marcus said, his voice filled with awe and fear. "This is how they're coordinating their invasion." The remaining alien soldiers regrouped around the hub, ready to make a last stand. Arya knew they had to destroy it, but the odds were stacked against them. They were outnumbered and outgunned, and the hub's energy shield would be nearly impossible to penetrate with their current firepower. "We need to take out that shield," Arya said, thinking quickly. "Marcus, can you hack into their systems?" Marcus nodded, already moving toward a nearby console. "I'll do my best," he said, his fingers flying over the alien controls. The team set up defensive positions, bracing for the inevitable counterattack. The aliens didn't disappoint. They charged with renewed vigor, determined to protect their hub at all costs. The 12th Recon fought back with everything they had, their desperation fueling their ferocity. "Marcus, how's it going?" Arya shouted over the noise of the battle. "Almost there," Marcus replied, sweat dripping down his face as he worked frantically. "Just a few more seconds." A loud crackle filled the air, and the energy shield around the hub flickered and then disappeared. Arya seized the opportunity. "Jax, now," she ordered. Jax, who had been waiting for this moment, launched a series of explosive charges at the hub. The explosions rocked the cavern, sending shockwaves through the air and causing parts of the ceiling to collapse. The hub shuddered and then imploded, its energy dispersing in a brilliant flash of light. The alien soldiers faltered, their coordination broken. The 12th Recon pressed the advantage, quickly neutralizing the remaining enemies. As the dust settled, Arya took a deep breath, surveying the damage. "We did it," Lena said, her voice filled with relief. "We actually did it." Arya nodded, but her mind was already racing ahead. "This was just a scouting party," she said grimly. "The real invasion force is still out there. We need to get this information back to command and prepare for the worst." As they made their way back to the surface, the team couldn't shake the feeling that they had only just begun to scratch the surface of the alien menace. The curiosity loop was tightening, drawing them deeper into a conflict that would test their limits and challenge everything they thought they knew. Back at their transport, Arya sent a secure transmission to Commander Graf, detailing their findings and the encounter. "We have proof now," she said. "The invasion is real, and it's coming faster than we thought. We need to be ready." The return message was swift and to the point. "Understood. Return to base for debriefing and preparation. This is just the beginning." As the transport lifted off, Arya looked out at the horizon, the weight of their discovery heavy on her shoulders. The small human army had proven their worth, but the real battle was still ahead. The fate of humanity depended on their next moves, and failure was not an option. The debriefing room was stark and functional, a far cry from the chaotic battlefield they had just left. Captain Arya Reynolds stood before a group of high-ranking officers. Her report met with a mix of skepticism and alarm. Commander Graf was there, his expression unreadable as he listened to her recount the events. "This symbol," Arya said, pointing to the projection of the strange glyph on the screen. "It was on the alien console and matches the one from the intercepted message. We believe it's linked to an ancient artifact of human origin." The room buzzed with whispers. One officer, General Briggs, leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "An ancient artifact? You're suggesting this invasion has been planned for centuries?" Arya met his gaze steadily. "We don't know for sure, but the connection is undeniable. The aliens are using advanced technology, but it's clear that some of their knowledge intersects with our ancient history." Commander Graf nodded. "Which means they might have been monitoring us for a long time. We need to find this artifact and understand its significance. Captain Reynolds, your team will lead the expedition." Dismissed. Back in their barracks, the 12th Recon prepared for the new mission. There was an air of tension mixed with determination. They had survived their first encounter, but they knew the stakes were even higher now. Marcus sat hunched over his terminal, analyzing the data they had collected. "I've been able to trace the origins of the symbol to several ancient sites," he said, his voice tinged with excitement. One of the most promising locations is in the Himalayas. There are references to a hidden temple there, one that's been lost to history." "A temple in the Himalayas," Jax muttered, shaking his head. "Sounds like something out of a movie." Arya smiled slightly. "It might be, but it's our best lead. We leave at first light." The journey to the Himalayas was arduous. The rugged terrain and thin air made every step a challenge, but the 12th Recon was undeterred. Guided by Marcus data and local guides, they trekked deeper into the mountains, each step taking them closer to the unknown. After days of travel, they finally reached a secluded valley, shrouded in mist and surrounded by towering peaks. In the center stood the remains of an ancient temple, its stone walls covered in the same strange symbols they had seen before. "This is it," Marcus said, his voice hushed with awe. "The Temple of the Ancients." The team moved cautiously, their weapons at the ready. Inside the temple, the air was cool and musty, the silence broken only by the sound of their footsteps. The walls were lined with carvings depicting scenes of human and alien interaction, hinting at a forgotten past. In the central chamber, they found a massive stone pedestal. On it rested a strange, metallic object, pulsating with a faint blue light. It was the artifact they had been searching for. Arya approached it slowly, feeling a strange sense of connection. "This must be what the aliens are after," she said, reaching out to touch it. As her fingers brushed the surface, the artifact came to life, projecting a holographic map of Earth and several alien worlds. "This is incredible," Marcus breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. "It's a star map, showing the locations of alien outposts and possibly their home world." Suddenly, the artifact emitted a burst of energy, sending a shockwave through the temple. The ground shook, and cracks began to appear in the walls. "We need to get out of here," Arya shouted, grabbing the artifact and stuffing it into her pack. As they made their way back to the entrance, the temple continued to collapse around them. Stones fell from the ceiling, and the ground heaved beneath their feet. With seconds to spare, they burst out into the open, the temple crumbling into rubble behind them. "We've got what we came for," Arya said, breathing heavily. "Now let's get back to base and figure out what this thing can do." Back at their base, Marcus worked tirelessly to analyze the artifact. "It's a data storage device," he explained, his eyes red from lack of sleep. "It contains vast amounts of information about the aliens, their technology, and their plans. But there's more. It also has data on an ancient alliance between humans and another alien race. This could change everything." Arya nodded, her mind racing. "We need to get this information to Command immediately. If we can form an alliance with these other aliens, it might be the key to stopping the invasion." As they prepared to transmit the data, a warning light flashed on the console. "We're being traced," Marcus said urgently. "The aliens know we have the artifact, and they're coming for us." Arya's heart pounded. "We need to move, now. Gather what you can and get to the transport. We're not letting them take us down without a fight." The small human army, once dismissed as insignificant, now held the key to humanity's survival. With the artifact in their possession and the knowledge it contained, they were ready to face the alien menace head-on. The next chapter in their journey would be the most challenging yet, but they were prepared to do whatever it took to protect their world. The base was a flurry of activity as the 12th Recon prepared to evacuate. The artifact's sudden activation had alerted the aliens, and they knew it was only a matter of time before the enemy arrived. Arya coordinated the effort with the precision of a well-oiled machine, her mind racing through scenarios and contingencies. "We're out of time," Marcus said, his voice tight with urgency. "The aliens have locked onto our location. We need to move, now." "Get to the transport," Arya commanded. "We're taking the artifact to the underground resistance network. They'll know how to keep it safe and use it against the aliens." The team sprinted to their transport, the engines already roaring to life. As they took off, the ground below erupted in explosions, alien ships descending from the sky. The transport swerved and dodged, narrowly avoiding enemy fire. "They're persistent, I'll give them that," Jax muttered, his hands gripping the controls tightly. "We just need to make it to the rendezvous point," Arya replied, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "The resistance will cover our escape." The rendezvous point was a hidden base deep in the mountains, a stronghold for those who believed in the alien threat long before it became undeniable. As they landed, they were met by a group of hardened resistance fighters, their faces a mix of relief and determination. Captain Reynolds, a tall, scarred man, greeted her. "I'm Elias Carter, leader of the resistance. We've heard about your mission. Do you have the artifact?" Arya nodded, pulling the artifact from her pack. "We need to secure this and analyze its data. The aliens are already on our tail." Carter's eyes widened as he took the artifact. "This is beyond anything we've ever seen. Come, our tech team will get to work immediately." As they moved inside, Arya noticed a familiar face among the resistance fighters. Lieutenant Sarah Connors, a former member of Earth's military who had defected to the resistance years ago. Their eyes met, and Sarah gave a curt nod. "I see you're still in the fight, Reynolds," Sarah said, her tone neutral. "And I see you haven't lost your edge, Connors," Arya replied. "We need all the help we can get." The resistance base was a maze of tunnels and makeshift rooms, filled with equipment and personnel working around the clock. Marcus and the resistance tech team immediately began analyzing the artifact, their combined expertise unlocking more of its secrets. "This data is incredible," Marcus said, his voice filled with awe. "It details the aliens' entire invasion plan, their weaknesses, and potential allies. But there's something else." He paused, his face growing pale. "There's a traitor among us. Someone has been feeding information to the aliens." Arya's blood ran cold. Who? She demanded. Marcus shook his head. I can't pinpoint it yet, but it's someone with access to high-level information. We need to be careful. Arya nodded, her mind racing. We need to find the traitor before they can do more damage. Sarah, gather your best fighters and secure the base. We can't afford any more surprises. As the resistance fighters moved to secure the base, Arya and her team continued to analyze the data. The artifact revealed the location of a potential ally, an ancient race of aliens who had once fought against the invaders. If they could form an alliance, it might turn the tide of the war. This is our chance, Arya said, her eyes blazing with determination. We need to contact these allies and bring them into the fight. Suddenly, the base's alarms blared. Incoming attack, a voice shouted over the intercom. All personnel to battle stations. The 12th Recon sprang into action, their training kicking in. They rushed to the outer defenses, ready to repel the alien assault. As they took their positions, Arya couldn't shake the feeling that the traitor was close by, watching their every move. The aliens attacked with a ferocity that took even the seasoned resistance fighters by surprise. Energy blasts lit up the night, and the ground shook with the force of the explosions. The 12th Recon held their ground, their small numbers compensated by their sheer determination and skill. In the midst of the chaos, Arya spotted a shadow moving through the base, heading toward the command center. Her heart pounded as she realized the traitor was making their move. Stay here and hold the line, she shouted to her team. I'm going after the traitor. She sprinted through the tunnels, her mind racing. The command center was the heart of the base, and if the traitor reached it, they could sabotage their defenses and doom them all. As she burst into the command center, she saw the traitor, one of the senior officers, General Briggs, standing over a console, a sinister smile on his face.
Briggs, Arya growled.
I should have known. Brilliant, isn't it? Briggs replied, his voice dripping with malice. You can't win, Reynolds. The aliens have already won. Arya raised her weapon, her eyes locked on Briggs. Not while I'm still breathing. Before Briggs could react, Arya fired, her shot hitting him square in the chest. He fell to the ground, his expression one of shock and disbelief. With the traitor neutralized, Arya quickly secured the command center and coordinated the defense. The resistance fighters and the 12th Recon fought with renewed vigor, repelling the alien attackers and securing the base. As the dust settled and the last of the alien ships retreated, Arya stood among her comrades, her heart heavy with the knowledge of the betrayal, but filled with hope for the future. This is just the beginning, she said, her voice steady. We have the artifact, we have the knowledge, and we have the will to fight. Now, let's find our allies and end this invasion once and for all. The small human army, underestimated and ridiculed, had proven their worth once again. They had uncovered allies, thwarted betrayal, and stood strong against overwhelming odds. The next chapter of their journey would be the most critical yet, but they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The resistance base was abuzz with activity as the tech team worked around the clock to unlock the full potential of the artifact. Marcus, driven by equal parts exhaustion and exhilaration, led the effort, his eyes red but focused. We've barely scratched the surface, he said, hunched over a holographic display. There's so much data here, so much we can use. Arya watched him work, her mind racing with plans and contingencies. They had survived the initial assault and rooted out the traitor, but the real challenge lay ahead. They needed to form an alliance with the ancient alien race depicted in the artifact's data. We need to make contact with these allies, she said, turning to Sarah Connors. We can't fight this war alone. Sarah nodded. I agree. The artifact indicates they're located in a system not too far from here. It's a risky journey, but it might be our only hope. Arya looked at her team, their faces set with determination. We're going. Get the transport ready. We leave at dawn. The journey through space was tense and fraught with danger. The 12th Recon and a small contingent of resistance fighters navigated their way through enemy-controlled territory, using stealth and cunning to avoid detection. The coordinates from the artifact led them to a distant star system, home to the ancient race they hoped to ally with. As they approached the planet, they were met with a stunning sight. The world below was lush and vibrant, with towering cities of crystal and metal that glowed softly in the twilight. "We're being hailed," Marcus announced, his fingers dancing over the controls.
It's them.
A holographic image flickered to life before them, revealing a tall, regal-looking alien with silver skin and luminous eyes. "I am Alara, leader of the VYRN," the alien said, her voice melodic and commanding. "We have been expecting you." Arya stepped forward, her heart pounding. "I am Captain Arya Reynolds of Earth. We seek your help in fighting a common enemy." Alara's eyes narrowed slightly. "We know of your plight, Captain Reynolds. The Zorak are a scourge upon the galaxy. But why should we ally with you? What do you offer in return?" Arya took a deep breath. "We offer our resolve, our determination to fight for our survival and yours. We have information, technology, and the will to stand against the Zorak. Together, we can defeat them." Alara studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. We will hear you out. Land in the central city, and we will discuss our alliance." The VYRN city was a marvel of technology and beauty. As they disembarked from their transport, the 12th Recon and the resistance fighters were met with curious glances from the VYRN citizens. Alara led them to a grand hall, where representatives of the VYRN government awaited. "Our council has been briefed on your situation," Alara said, taking her place at the head of the table. "Show us the artifact." Marcus carefully placed the artifact on the table, activating its holographic display. The star map and data streams filled the air, casting a blue glow over the room. "This artifact contains everything we know about the Zorak," Marcus explained. "Their invasion plans, their weaknesses, and their history. It also indicates that our ancestors may have fought alongside yours long ago." Alara and the council members examined the data, their expressions serious. "This confirms many of our suspicions," Alara said finally. "The Zorak have long sought to conquer our worlds, but we have always managed to resist. With your help, we can take the fight to them." Arya felt a surge of hope. "Then we have an alliance." Alara nodded. "Yes, Captain Reynolds. We will join forces with you. Together, we will strike at the heart of the Zorak Empire and end their threat once and for all." The days that followed were a blur of planning and preparation. The VYRN's advanced technology and strategic knowledge were invaluable assets, and the combined forces began to form a plan to attack the Zorak's main stronghold. "We need to hit them hard and fast," Arya said during a strategy meeting. "A coordinated strike that disrupts their command structure and cripples their ability to retaliate." Alara nodded in agreement. "Our scouts have identified several key targets. If we can take them out, the Zorak will be thrown into chaos." The plan was ambitious and fraught with risks, but it was their best chance. As they finalized the details, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The small human army, now bolstered by their new allies, was ready to take the fight to the enemy. The fleet assembled in orbit, a mix of human and VYRN ships poised for battle. The 12th Recon stood ready, their resolve unshaken despite the enormity of the task ahead. "This is it," Arya said, addressing her team. "This is what we've been fighting for. Stay sharp, stay focused, and remember what's at stake. We're not just fighting for our survival, but for the future of both our species." The team nodded, their expressions grim but determined. As the fleet moved into position, the weight of their mission settled over them. They were about to embark on a journey that would determine the fate of their worlds. With a final check of their gear and a silent nod to each other, the 12th Recon boarded their transport, ready to face the ultimate challenge. The small human army, once dismissed and underestimated, was now the spearhead of a coalition that could change the course of history. As the fleet jumped to hyperspace, the vastness of space opened before them. The battle for survival was about to begin, and the small spark of hope they carried was now a blazing beacon, leading them into the heart of the alien menace. The fleet emerged from hyperspace on the edge of the Zorak Empire. The view before them was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The main stronghold of the Zorak loomed ahead, a massive fortress bristling with weaponry and surrounded by a swarm of smaller ships. "Captain Reynolds," Ilara's voice crackled over the comms. "Our scouts have identified the key targets. The primary objective is the Central Command Hub. If we can take it out, we'll disrupt their entire network." "Arya," Marcus's voice came through the team's private channel. "I've hacked into their communication frequencies. We have a narrow window to hit them hard before they can fully mobilize." Arya took a deep breath, her mind racing. "All units, prepare for assault. Stick to the plan and watch each other's backs. We've got one shot at this." The fleet moved into formation, human and VYRN ships working in perfect unison. As they approached the stronghold, the Zorak forces reacted, their ships swarming like angry hornets. The battle began in earnest, lasers and plasma bolts streaking through the void. The 12th Recon's transport weaved through the chaos, evading enemy fire with skillful maneuvers. Jax and Kieran operated the weapon systems, their shots taking down enemy fighters with pinpoint accuracy. Lena, as always, remained in the shadows, ready to strike at a moment's notice. "We're approaching the drop zone," Marcus reported, his eyes glued to the scanners. "Get ready to move." The transport dove toward the surface of the stronghold, dodging anti-aircraft fire. As it touched down, the ramp lowered, and the team charged out, weapons at the ready. The ground assault had begun. The stronghold's interior was a maze of corridors and fortified positions. The team moved swiftly, their every step measured and precise. They encountered pockets of resistance, but their training and coordination allowed them to push forward. "Command hub is dead ahead," Marcus said, his voice steady despite the tension. "We're almost there." A squad of Zorak soldiers blocked their path, their weapons trained on the team. Arya signaled for a halt, assessing the situation. "We need to take them out quickly and quietly," she said. "Lena, you're up." Lena nodded, her form seemingly blending into the shadows as she moved. Moments later, the Zorak soldiers fell one by one, taken down by her silent strikes. The path was clear. The team reached the command hub, a massive chamber filled with alien technology. At the center was a control console, pulsating with energy. "Marcus, get that console offline," Arya ordered, her eyes scanning the room for threats. Marcus set to work, his fingers flying over the alien controls. "This is it," he said, his voice filled with determination. "We're about to shut them down." Suddenly, an alarm blared, and the chamber's doors sealed shut. From the shadows, a figure emerged, a Zorak commander, larger and more imposing than the soldiers they had faced. "You have come far, humans," the commander hissed, its voice filled with malice. "But this is where your journey ends." Arya stood her ground, her weapon trained on the commander. "We're not leaving until this stronghold is in ruins. Stand down, or face the consequences." The commander laughed, a cold, grating sound. "Foolish human. You underestimate the Zorak." With a roar, the commander charged, its energy blade slicing through the air. The team scattered, each member moving with the practiced ease of countless battles. Jax and Kieran provided covering fire, their shots forcing the commander to dodge and weave. Arya engaged the commander head-on, their blades clashing with a shower of sparks. She fought with everything she had, her movements a blur of speed and precision. But the commander was relentless, its strength and skill pushing her to the limit. "Marcus, how's it going?" she shouted, ducking under a vicious swing. "Almost there," Marcus replied, his voice strained. "Just a few more seconds." Lena, moving like a wraith, circled behind the commander, looking for an opening. With a swift, precise strike, she drove her blade into the commander's back. The alien howled in pain, momentarily distracted. Arya seized the opportunity, delivering a series of rapid blows that overwhelmed the commander's defenses. With a final, powerful strike, she took it down, the alien collapsing in a heap at her feet. "Got it," Marcus shouted, the console's lights flickering and then going dark. "The command network is offline." The team barely had time to celebrate as the chamber shook, explosions ripping through the stronghold. "We need to get out of here," Arya said, her voice urgent. "This place is coming down." They raced back through the corridors, the structure collapsing around them. As they reached their transport, the stronghold erupted in a massive explosion, the shockwave propelling them into the air. The transport stabilized, and Arya looked out at the ruins of the stronghold. They had done it. The command hub was destroyed, and the Zorak forces were in disarray. "All units, fall back to the rendezvous point," she ordered over the comms. Mission accomplished. Back at the resistance base, the atmosphere was one of cautious optimism. The combined forces had struck a major blow against the Zorak, but the war was far from over. Arya and her team were hailed as heroes, their actions inspiring others to join the fight. "We've shown them that we won't go down without a fight," Arya said, addressing a gathering of resistance fighters and VYRN allies. "This is just the beginning. Together, we will push them back and reclaim our worlds." Elara stepped forward, her expression one of respect and determination. "The VYRN stand with you, Captain Reynolds. We will fight together, and we will win." The small human army, once dismissed as insignificant, had proven their worth in the face of overwhelming odds. With their new allies and the knowledge they had gained, they were ready to take the next steps in their journey. As the resistance forces prepared for the battles to come, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, and now they were ready to bring the fight to the heart of the Zorak Empire. The final battle loomed on the horizon, and the small spark of hope that had carried them this far burned brighter than ever. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their resolve to protect their worlds and secure a future for all. The resistance base buzzed with the afterglow of victory. The destruction of the Zorak command hub had dealt a significant blow to the invaders, disrupting their operations and giving the allies a much-needed respite. However, the war was far from over. As the leaders of the resistance and the VYRN gathered to strategize their next move, the 12th Recon took a moment to reflect on their journey and prepare for what lay ahead. Arya stood at the edge of the base's observation deck, looking out over the rugged landscape. The air was crisp, carrying with it the scent of earth and vegetation, a stark contrast to the metallic tang of the battlefield. She was joined by Elara, who had become both an ally and a friend in this fight. "You've done well, Captain Reynolds," Elara said, her voice soft yet strong. "Your actions have given us a chance, a hope we haven't felt in a long time." Arya nodded, her gaze still fixed on the horizon. "We couldn't have done it without your help, Elara. The VYRN's knowledge and technology have been invaluable." Elara smiled. "It is a partnership that benefits us both. But there is still much to do." As they spoke, Marcus approached, his face a mix of excitement and concern. "Arya, I've finished analyzing the remaining data from the artifact. There's something you need to see." In the command center, Marcus displayed the final pieces of the artifact's data. Holographic images and streams of information filled the room, casting an eerie blue glow. "This is the complete star map," Marcus explained, pointing to various points of interest. It shows not only the locations of the Zorak outposts, but also hidden bases of their allies and, more importantly, the coordinates of their home world. Arya's eyes widened. Their home world? If we can strike at the heart of their empire. Exactly, Marcus interrupted. But there's more. The data also includes information about another ancient race that once fought against the Zorak. They were the creators of the artifact and the original allies of humanity. If we can find them, they might be able to help us. Ilara's eyes sparkled with intrigue. An ancient race with the power to challenge the Zorak. This could be the key to our victory. Arya took a deep breath, the weight of their discovery settling on her shoulders. We need to act quickly. If we can find these ancient allies and secure their help, we might have a chance to end this war once and for all. The next few days were a whirlwind of preparations. The combined forces of the Resistance and the VYRN readied themselves for the next phase of their mission. Arya and her team prepared for the journey to locate the ancient race, their determination unwavering despite the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Before they departed, Arya addressed the gathered forces, her voice carrying the weight of their shared struggle and the hope of their newfound unity. We have fought hard and sacrificed much to reach this point. We stand on the brink of a new era, one where we can push back the darkness and reclaim our worlds. Stay strong, stay united, and remember that we fight not just for ourselves, but for the future of all who call this galaxy home. With those words echoing in their minds, the 12th Recon and a select group of VYRN and Resistance fighters boarded their transport, setting a course for the coordinates provided by the artifact. The journey was long and perilous, taking them to the farthest reaches of known space and beyond. The ancient race's home world, when they finally arrived, was a sight to behold. It was a planet of towering spires and vast, shimmering cities, each structure a testament to a civilization that had once thrived and now stood as a monument to resilience and innovation. As they landed, they were met by representatives of the ancient race, their forms elegant and ethereal, their eyes filled with wisdom and strength. The leader stepped forward, a being of striking presence and grace. "Welcome, travelers," the leader said, their voice resonating with a timeless authority. "I am Eloria, guardian of the legacy you seek." Arya stepped forward, her heart pounding with a mix of awe and urgency. "I am Captain Arya Reynolds of Earth. We have come to ask for your help in fighting the Zorak. Our worlds are under siege, and we need your knowledge and strength to stand against them." Eloria studied them for a moment, then nodded. "We have long awaited this day. The Zorak are a blight upon the galaxy, and we have the means to help you. But first, you must prove your worthiness. There is a trial, a test of resolve and unity that you must undertake." Arya exchanged a glance with her team. They had faced countless challenges together, and they were ready for whatever lay ahead. "We accept your challenge," she said, her voice steady. "Tell us what we must do." The trial took them deep into the heart of the ancient city, through labyrinthine corridors and past grand chambers, filled with relics of a bygone era. They faced tests of strength, intelligence, and unity, each one designed to push them to their limits and beyond. As they completed the final challenge, a sense of accomplishment and solidarity washed over them. They had proven themselves not just as warriors, but as a united force, capable of overcoming any obstacle. Eloria met them at the end of the trial, their expression one of approval. "You have shown that you possess the qualities needed to stand against the Zorak. We will lend you our strength and knowledge. Together, we will forge an alliance that will turn the tide of this war." With the ancient race's support, the small human army, once dismissed and underestimated, now stood at the forefront of a powerful coalition. They had allies, knowledge, and the determination to see their mission through to the end. As they prepared to return to the Resistance base, Arya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The final battle was drawing near, and with their newfound strength, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The curiosity loop that had started with a mysterious symbol and a dire warning was now closing, leading them to the ultimate confrontation with the Zorak. The stage was set for the decisive battle that would determine the fate of their worlds. The small spark of hope that had carried them this far now blazed brightly, a beacon of unity and resilience guiding them into the heart of the alien menace. The return journey from the ancient race's home world was filled with a mix of anticipation and determination. The 12th Recon and their new allies had forged a bond that would be tested in the coming days. As they approached the Resistance base, the combined fleet was a sight to behold: human, VYRN, and ancient ships moving in unison, ready for the final confrontation. Back at the base, preparations for the ultimate assault on the Zorak home world were in full swing. Engineers and technicians worked tirelessly to integrate the ancient technology with their own, creating new weapons and defenses that would give them a fighting chance. Arya stood in the command center, overseeing the final stages of the plan. She felt a sense of calm resolve, knowing that they had done everything possible to prepare for this moment. Elara and Eloria stood beside her, their presence a reminder of the strength of their alliance. "We're ready," Arya said, her voice steady. "Let's bring everyone in for the final briefing." The briefing room was filled with representatives from all factions: humans, VYRN, and the ancient race. The air was thick with anticipation and resolve. Arya stepped forward, her gaze sweeping over the assembled warriors. "We stand at the brink of a new era," she began, her voice carrying the weight of their journey. "We have faced countless challenges and overcome impossible odds. Today, we unite as one force to strike at the heart of the Zorak Empire. This is our chance to end their reign of terror and secure a future for all our worlds." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We have the knowledge and technology to succeed. Our combined strength will be our greatest weapon. Remember, we fight not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. Stay strong, stay united, and let's show the Zorak that we will not be defeated." The room erupted in a chorus of determined voices, the resolve of the assembled warriors palpable. They knew the risks, but they also knew the stakes. This was their moment. The fleet assembled in orbit, ready for the final jump to the Zorak home world. The combined forces moved with a precision that spoke of their shared determination. As they entered hyperspace, the tension was almost tangible, every second bringing them closer to the ultimate battle. The Zorak home world loomed ahead, a dark, foreboding planet surrounded by a massive fleet. The Allies emerged from hyperspace and immediately engaged the enemy, their coordinated assault catching the Zorak off guard. Arya led the ground assault, her team moving with a lethal efficiency honed by years of battle. They fought their way through the Zorak defenses, their progress marked by fierce skirmishes and relentless determination. "We need to reach the central command tower," Arya shouted over the din of battle. "That's where we'll have the most impact." The team pushed forward, their every step a testament to their resolve. They reached the base of the tower, the structure looming above them like a dark monolith. With a final burst of energy, they breached the defenses and stormed the tower. Inside, they encountered the Zorak leadership, a council of warlords who had orchestrated the invasion. The battle was intense, each side fighting with everything they had. Arya faced the Zorak leader, their blades clashing in a duel that would decide the fate of their worlds. "You will not win," the Zorak leader hissed, their eyes filled with malice. "Your efforts are futile." Arya's eyes blazed with determination. "We fight for more than just ourselves. We fight for our future." With a final, powerful strike, she defeated the Zorak leader, the creature collapsing in a heap at her feet. The rest of the team secured the command center, shutting down the Zorak defenses and ensuring their victory. As the battle subsided, the realization of their victory began to sink in. The Zorak forces were in disarray, their leadership destroyed, their invasion plans thwarted. The Allies had won. Back at the base, the mood was one of celebration and relief. Arya and her team were hailed as heroes, their actions having secured a future for their worlds. The small human army, once dismissed and underestimated, had played a crucial role in the victory. Ilara and Eloria approached Arya, their expressions filled with gratitude and respect. "You have done a great thing today, Captain Reynolds," Eloria said. "Your bravery and determination have saved countless lives." Arya smiled, her heart filled with a sense of fulfillment. "We did it together. This victory belongs to all of us." Ilara nodded. "And now we must ensure that we maintain this alliance. Together, we will rebuild and create a future where all our species can thrive." As the celebrations continued, Arya found a quiet moment to reflect on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges and had emerged stronger for it. The curiosity loop that had begun with a mysterious symbol and a dire warning had come full circle, leading them to a victory that had once seemed impossible. In the end, it was their unity, their resolve, and their determination that had carried them through. They had shown that even the smallest force could make a difference, that hope and courage could triumph over fear and tyranny. Arya looked out at the stars, a sense of peace settling over her. The battle was over, but their journey was far from finished. There were new challenges ahead, new worlds to explore, and new alliances to forge. The story of the small human army and their fight against the alien menace would be remembered for generations, a testament to the power of unity and the indomitable spirit of those who refuse to give up. The story may have ended, but the journey continues with more thrilling adventures and epic tales. Don't miss out. Click on the video showing on the screen now to dive into the next exciting chapter.